Welcome to the May 24th, 2021 City Council meeting. Thank you for joining us in this remote meeting format we're using in response to Governor Brown's Stay Home, Save Lives order. This format enables the City Council to meet, hear from the community, and take care of business while keeping everyone safe. Anyone wishing to access the meeting can do so by watching the live stream available on our website, the broadcast on Comcast Channel 21, or by following the access instructions listed for this meeting on the public webcast and meeting materials web page. Tonight's meeting will include a public forum. If you wish to participate during the public forum portion of the meeting and haven't already done so, please raise your virtual hand now to join the speaker's queue in one of two ways. For those viewing the meeting on a computer, laptop, or other device, click once on the hand icon. For those listening to the meeting on a phone, press *9. We will continue accepting raised hands until 7:35 p.m. The meeting moderator will unraise or disallow any requests to speak that are made after the deadline. You will have 2.5 minutes to speak. As a reminder, we are now allowing speakers the option of turning on your video when you are called on to provide testimony. As your turn is announced, the meeting moderator will temporarily promote you to panelist status, and you can unmute and turn on your video if you wish. This sometimes makes for a long transition, and people are often a little uncertain about that, but it will happen. I also encourage everyone to use this new increased access in a responsible way. Our intent is simply to be able to see each other's faces as testimony is given. Any misuse of the platform or violation of the council's code of conduct will result in the termination of your speaking privilege. And finally, thank you all for joining us and for your patience and flexibility as we continue to work in this virtual format. As always, feel free to contact any one of us individually or together via email or voicemail if there is testimony you were not able to provide or wish to get to us in a different manner. And I will open this meeting with a land acknowledgement. Since time immemorial, the Kalapuya people have been the indigenous stewards to our region, building dynamic communities, maintaining balance with wildlife, and enacting sustainable land practices. Following treaties between 1851 and 1855, Kalapuya people were dispossessed of their indigenous homeland by the United States government and forcibly removed to the Coast Reservation in Western Oregon. The city of Eugene is built within the traditional homelands known as Kalapuya Ilahi. Kalapuya descendants are citizens of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Run Community of Oregon and the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians of Oregon, and continue to make contributions in our communities here and across the lands. We acknowledge the inherent political sovereignty of the 9 federally recognized tribal nations in the state of Oregon and all American Indian Alaska Native people who live here. In honor of Memorial Day on May 31st, we have a special guest. Dr. DeWade Perry will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Dr. Perry is a local physician practicing in Springfield and is a veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps. Thank you very much, Dr. Perry, for joining us this evening and for your service. Now, if you are able to rise and stay on camera, which can be tricky, please feel free to rise. And Dr. Perry, I turn it over to you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much for honoring us in this way and for your service to our community and to our nation and for joining us this evening. Thank you again, Dr. Perry.
You're welcome.
I have one more ceremonial piece of this evening's agenda, and that is to read in part a proclamation declaring the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And I'm going to read most of this, but not all of this proclamation, and invite you to, I guess we'll post it and the full text can be available. Whereas every day, more than 100 Americans are killed by gun violence, alongside more than 230 who are shot and wounded. And on average, there are more than 13,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas Americans are 25 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is mayors' highest responsibility. And whereas gun violence prevention is more important than ever as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to exacerbate gun violence after more than a year of increased gun sales, increased calls to suicide and domestic violence hotlines, and an increase in city gun violence. Whereas in January 2013, Hadia Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15. And on June 4, 2021, to recognize the 24th birthday of Hadia Pendleton, people across the United States will recognize National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wear orange in tribute to Hadia Pendleton and other victims of gun violence and the loved ones of those victims. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hadia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange. They chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 4th, the first Friday in June in 2021, to help raise awareness about gun violence. And whereas by wearing orange on June 4, 2021, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Lucy Vinis of the City of Eugene, declare the first Friday in June, June 4, 2021, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. I encourage all citizens to support our local community's efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for your work to help keep our community safe. And with that, we are ready for the first regular item on the agenda, which is committee reports and items of interest. Do I have Councilor Groves, take it away.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for reading that proclamation. I think it's important that we do everything we can to make our community safe and our community members safe. On Saturday, I had the privilege of attending a recognition event for the Eugene Rotary for all the work and hundreds, if not thousands of hours that they have volunteered to help with the mass shot clinics at Lane County Fairgrounds. Councilor Keating and Councilor Syrett were in attendance as well. They did yeoman's work during this entire process. They were out there in rain, snow, sideways rain, wind, high heat, below freezing, but they never wavered on making sure that they had support there to help administer these life-saving and life-protecting vaccines to members of our community and beyond. So I just wanted to recognize them and say thank you one more time for their selfless effort in helping make our community, our country, and our world safer.
Thank you so much for that. It was extraordinary community service provided by the Rotary. Councilor Keating.
Mayor, can I defer to Manager Mederi while I look up some stats, please?
You may.
You missed my saying thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Councilor Keating. I wanted to give you a update on discussions with Northwest Natural. I know a number of you have been asking me questions about that, and so I just wanted to give you a little bit of reminder of where we kind of left off and kind of the plan going forward. So the last meeting that you had, I had informed you that I didn't think we had an agreement that was ready to go and that we were going to be continuing negotiations, probably with either an imminently expiring franchise or an expired franchise, and wanted to make sure you were okay with that, and you were. So I also heard from you in that meeting that there was some calls for try to be creative, try to stay open, and a number of you have asked me about that afterwards. Is there a path forward that would still include carbon reductions? So based on that, I reached out to Northwest Natural, and I've had a couple of conversations with leadership there that I'd like to be able to talk about in a public meeting and just give you an update on where we are and maybe some potential options for how we could move forward together. Their franchise did expire last week, and I can answer questions about that at that time too. So I mostly just wanted to let you know I'm going to be putting and asking the mayor to put a work session on your calendar probably in June, so I can kind of walk you through some possible options. So didn't want you to be surprised when that showed up on the calendar.
Thank you very much. That'll be very helpful to bring us all back in line with what the current status is. And Councilor Keating.
Thanks, Mayor, and thanks, Councilor Groves, for the shout out to Eugene Rotarians who did countless hours of volunteer work. It was a pleasure to be in their presence at the Lane County Fairgrounds the last day of the fairgrounds vaccination setup. And I appreciate your attendance and Councilor Syrette's attendance, and the 143 members of Eugene Rotary, with a little help from Springfield. Some Rotarians from across the river came over. 143 members, 143 Rotarians, over 17 different clinics. I was going to say rolled up their sleeves and helped out, but it's the folks who got the shots who rolled up their sleeves. Thanks, Councilor Zelenka. Professionals gave shots, put shots in arms, but the volunteers, the Rotarians, did all the paperwork, and they were there, as Councilor Grove said, through rain, sleet, snow, and I just hats off to everyone who helped folks get vaccinated. We're currently at 52%. Or north of 52% in the county. If you haven't got your vaccination yet, please talk to your healthcare provider, or please walk into the nearest clinic or pharmacy near you to get vaccinated. And the quicker we all can encourage folks to get vaccinated, the quicker we can put this pandemic in the rearview mirror. There is a business in our community, Mayor. I believe it's the new brewery at the old La Perla location, the Community Fermentation Union, that was offering your second beer free if you showed your vaccination card. I can't tell you how many times I've shown my vaccination card there, and I encourage any businesses in the community to do the same. The more we can encourage and provide small incentives, then the happier this counselor will be. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that public service announcement about the importance of getting vaccinations. Any other quick items from counselors? I'm just going to say two very quick things without expanding on them too much. Yesterday, I attended a mobility justice listening session, which was convened by NAACP and BEST. And so I think it'll be the first of many conversations around access and safety for all communities, but particularly our BIPOC communities and LGBTQ in terms of, you know, their needs for transit and biking and walking and their access to that. So it was a valuable listening session. And then keeping in the transit mode, this afternoon, we had a media celebratory moment because Amtrak service is now returning after a long hiatus in COVID. And it was really, really exciting and really fun. And we have some increased train service as well. So some good things happened in the last couple of days. All right, with that, I think we're ready to move on to the consent calendar.
Great. So I move to approve the items on consent calendar 1.
I'd like to pull item C.
Okay. All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All right, all in favor of consent calendar except for item C, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you, that passes. And Councilor Zelenka, you want to speak to item C?
Yeah, it's just an acknowledgement of it, which I think is a very important part of follow through and on promises made, promises kept. When we instituted the construction excise tax, we said we would give $500,000 for direct renter assistance and homeowner assistance and $300,000 for development assistance for a project. And we did put on RFP and selected the Grove on Garden Way project, nothing to do with Councilor Groves, and for $300,000 and 122 units, I believe, of affordable housing for low-income folks. So hats off to the process and the follow through and getting some more affordable housing units soon coming up. With that, I move to adopt item C?
Please.
Second.
All right, all in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you very much. And with that, we are ready to go on to the public forum. And I will just mention that I know that Councilor Evans was unable to join us, and I know that Councilor Syrat also was not well tonight and not able to join us. So this is our full contingent tonight. On to the public forum. The public forum is an opportunity for individuals to speak to the City Council on any city-related issues except for those items which have already been heard by a hearings official. When it is your turn, the moderator will announce your name and promote you to panelist status. Please state your name clearly and for Eugene residents, your ward, if known, before beginning your comments. Again, each person will have 2.5 minutes to speak. If you are watching the meeting, the timer should be visible. A yellow light will come on when you have 15 seconds to complete your comments. The red light indicates the end of the 2.5 minutes. When your time has concluded, the moderator will demote you back to attendee status and move on to the next speaker. For those who have connected to the meeting via phone and don't have the benefit of seeing the timer, please be aware that your microphone will be muted at the 2.5 minute mark. And I'm not looking at the numbers here, but just a reminder that the public forum is limited to 90 minutes. It looks like we have 22 people who have raised their hands, so we should be able to make it through, but I will encourage speakers to speak briefly if possible, because that ensures that everybody who has queued up tonight will have an opportunity to speak. And with that, I will turn this over to our meeting moderator.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Before we start the public forum, we will be trying something a little different tonight. We are showing the order of signups of speakers on your screen now for the public forum. If you are signed up, you can see where you are in the queue. We will be showing this for the next couple of seconds, then taking it down before starting the forum. All right, so first up, we have 3 Planning Commission members for the public forum that will be speaking. Our first speaker will be Chris Ramey, followed by Ken Beeson.
Good evening. Can you all hear me? Thank you. Good evening, council members and mayor. My name is Chris Ramey. I live in Ward 3 and I'm the chair of your planning commission. I'm here tonight to call your attention to our letter, which you received today, detailing the robust community engagement efforts used in formulating the middle housing recommendations as required by House Bill 2001. Our recommended changes to the zoning code will be coming to you in the fall. The middle housing recommendations and the process behind their creation are complicated and important to the city of Eugene. So the commission wanted to take time to update the council at important points in the process. At our May 17th meeting, we voted unanimously to send you this letter, and the commission authorized me and the 2 other commissioners who are here with me this evening to appear before you and summarize the letter's content. I'm joined by Ken Beeson and Tiffany Edwards. Commissioner Beeson will summarize the public outreach process, and Commissioner Edwards will summarize the results of the outreach process. We are committed to an effective process for the City of Eugene's middle housing recommendations, and we recognize the importance of removing barriers to diverse and affordable housing in our community. This was no ordinary public engagement process. It exemplified excellence in reaching out to informing a broad cross-section of our community, not just the most vocal. The process demonstrated a commitment from city staff to raise the bar, elevate voices, reconcile our state and local zoning codes history of exclusion, and implement amendments that center on equality and equity. The commission shares the enthusiasm for this robust and broad outreach process that was inclusive of and represents the interests of renters, homeowners, Black, Indigenous, people of color, people of all ages, and people from all Eugene neighborhoods. Commissioner Beeson will now summarize the public engagement process.
Good evening, Mayor Venus and councilors. My name is Ken Beeson. I live in Ward 2. I'm the vice chair of the Planning Commission. The project's public involvement plan was carefully reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission, acting as the Citizen Involvement Committee back in August of 2020. Public engagement was conducted during a pandemic. It limited the type of involvement activities, but it didn't hamper it. The plan began with a commitment to focus on equity and inclusion, including educational components that shared zoning's difficult history of racial and economic exclusion. Creation of various panels ensured that voices from our entire community would not only have a say in the process, but they would also be informed of how planning works, how decisions are made at the local level, and how community members can be involved with city processes. Our process has included community stakeholders, such as neighborhood associations, local partners, representatives from boards and commissions, and local affordable and market rate developers. I'd like to highlight 2 efforts in particular, the Healthy Democracy Panel and the Equity Roundtable. When the commission approved the public involvement plan, we also approved a first of its kind representative lottery selected panel. Healthy Democracy Panel represented Eugene's demographic communities and truly was a microcosm of Eugene, the very assortment of community members that we pledge to represent. Panelists were compensated for their participation, mitigating a barrier and enabling more people to participate. In over 15 meetings, the panel learned about, discussed, and deliberated land use code amendments before recommending actions for the middle housing project. Planning Commission also approved the addition of an equity roundtable, since the Healthy Democracy Panel, as a representative sample of the community, was also predominantly white. The Equity Roundtable consisted of various groups doing equity-based work serving underrepresented community members in Eugene. Like the Healthy Democracy Panel, the Equity Roundtable participants were compensated for their participation, and the group was facilitated by a team of women of color. Commissioner Edwards will now summarize the results of the outreach process.
Good evening, council members and mayor. My name is Tiffany Edwards. I live in Ward 5, and I'm the past chair and current member of your Planning Commission. Several themes emerged from stakeholders' input, but there was frequent synergy and clear connection between stakeholders' recommendations. The community-shaped guiding values and principles directly influence the Commission's recommendations on the proposed land use code amendments. They are as follows: equity and access to housing, broad dispersal of middle housing, housing options of all sizes and shapes, compact, efficient housing, sense of belonging, opportunities to build wealth, interconnectedness of housing solutions, and vibrant neighborhoods. More detail about each of these can be found in our letter to you. The outreach participants overwhelmingly agreed that the city should go beyond the minimum standards for complying with the House bill and supported implementing a suite of land use code amendments that encourage and incentivize the development of middle housing types. Outreach participants were given 3 alternatives to implement the requirements of HB 2001. They were allow the minimum, encourage more than the minimum, or incentivize more than the minimum. 2 focus groups, 2 roundtables, the Healthy Democracy Panel, and the Equity Roundtable all agreed. The changes needed to implement 2001 should move beyond the minimum and encourage or incentivize the development of middle housing types. Additionally, 82% of respondents to a survey chose the incentivize or encourage options. This is a project of many firsts, but is a success in raising voices early and often in the process. Should mean that a process like this is not the last. Thank you for the opportunity to provide guidance on this important project and its outcomes. We appreciate and value collaborating with you on this future project and future projects and look forward to removing barriers to housing affordability, availability, and diversity. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. Next up for the public forum, we have Selena Blick, followed by Nick Dykes.
Hi, my name is Selena Blick, and I'm here today with 350 Eugene and our Fossil for Eugene Coalition. I am here today, and I have been here over the past 6 months, because despite all of the bad things happening in our world right now, I have hope for our future. I have hope for a future where we have clean air and clean water and a stable climate. I have hope for a future where we have low carbon, good paying union jobs for everyone. I have hope for a future where we don't have exploding gas lines or leaking pipelines or toxic indoor air. I have hope for a future where people are treated justly and given the resources that they need to live a good life. I have hope for a future where we all help each other as a community instead of fighting over who can get the most money and power. And I strongly believe that the first step towards making any of these hopes a reality in our community is transitioning off of fracked gas. Continuing to invest in gas infrastructure stands in the way of all of these hopes. Fracked gas pollutes our environment and exacerbates climate change. It creates public safety hazards in our community and unjustly targets low-income households. And Northwest Natural continues to prioritize their greed for power and money to the extent of purposely misleading and bribing members of our community. Is this the future that you want? We have been here advocating for a Fossil for Eugene for the past 6 months because we want you to know how committed we are to creating a better future. We are offering you a clear path forward and are committed to supporting you along the way. I hope that you'll join us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Selena. Next up, we have Nick, followed by Bob Granger.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Dykes. I live in Ward 4, Councilor Ye's ward. Hello, Councilor Ye. Good to see you. And good to see everyone. It's been a while since I've been in one of these meetings. I'm here today with the Fossil Free Eugene Coalition. I'm a homeowner, and I think about the gas that's in my house and how happy I'll be to get rid of it when I can, when my heater goes out, and when there's an affordable way for me to transition from fracked gas and any kind of gas to a greener, safer option. I appreciate that you all have let the Northwest Natural franchise agreement expire. I know that you all know that climate change is a real problem, and I appreciate the challenge in trying to find a way to equitably shift from fossil fuels to renewables. When Northwest Natural knocked on my door, I guess it was about 1.5 years ago, offering a way for me to be a greener customer, I was disappointed to find out that that meant that I had to pay extra. It kind of acknowledged to me that Northwest Natural knows that they have a product which has an externality, which is an effect on our climate. And they were asking me to pay for it. So I would rather have a safer option. I'm aware of the air quality issues. You're going to be hearing about that a bit today, about how air quality in homes with natural gas is dangerous. And renters, for example, can't choose. I also know that the International Energy Agency just created a report last week laying out a pathway to net zero emissions by 2050. So they're concerned about climate change, and they highlighted that they would ban the sale of new fossil fuel powered furnaces and heaters by 2025 in order to reach that goal. So knowing all of the dangers and issues with gas, I wonder why we can't make it easier to switch to an all electric grid with local solar and wind power, with car batteries that provide backup energy. They're networked together. This technology exists and has been deployed in other countries. We have options. And I know you're all concerned about picking winners and losers, but I think you can choose the people rather than the corporation in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. Your time has concluded. Up next, we have Bob Granger, followed by the user with the numbers ending in 5023. Bob, can you please unmute?
Good evening, Mayor and councilors. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. The word natural is a very misleading word. On the one hand, it's a friendly word, a word we associate with the environment. The trouble is, arsenic is natural. So is poison ivy. So much for friendly. Calling gas natural does not make it friendly. In fact, it's highly toxic, and getting it out of the ground by the process of fracking adds more pollution, not just to the air, but even to the water near the fracking process. Northwest Natural, unfortunately, is just in the business of making money, not worrying about the cost of human life. So I think it's time to rein in this commercial enterprise. At the very least, it's time to prevent it from expanding by the way of creating more infrastructure. And I hope that we can do just that, prevent it from doing more infrastructure. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Bob. Next up, we have the user with the last numbers 5023, followed by Aaron.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think that might be me. I don't know why my name didn't go through. Anyway, hello. My name is, good evening, Mayor, City Council, and City Manager. My name is Jan Bowman, and I live in Ward 2. I'm a volunteer with 350 Eugene, and I'm here tonight to talk about Eugene's energy future. I care about this for the same reason that most of you and most of all of us do. I believe my daughter, my grandchildren, and all other young people deserve a fair shot at a livable planet, a livable future. I want them to be able to experience life and the beauty of nature that we've all been privileged to enjoy. With rising temperatures, rising waters, weather extremes, and terrifying wildfires, the urgency of the situation is self-evident. I want to thank the City Council for your willingness to let the franchise agreement with Northwest Natural expire and to hold them accountable to help us reach our crucial carbon reduction goals. We have a lot of work to do to make meaningful progress, and we need all our utility partners to be fully on board to help move us toward a renewable energy future. I'm in support of the goals of Fossil Free Eugene, which is part of a growing movement advocating for a just transition to renewable energy, just as quickly as we can do so. This effort is in part focused on the electrification of buildings as a clear mechanism for dramatically reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Homes and buildings consume nearly 43% of all energy in Oregon and cause about 1/3 of the state's climate pollution, the second largest source of climate pollution after transportation sector. This comes from the gas burned in furnaces, water heaters, stoves, and dryers. And transitioning to renewables will not only help meet our imperative climate goals, it will also provide benefits for the local economy, public health, and safety, and provide an important opportunity to combat environmental justice in our community. Oregon state agencies estimate that energy efficiency improvements such as improved heating and cooling and weatherization could save $100 million per year in utility costs for low-income households. I also support especially Fossil Fuel Eugene's position to levy a fee on climate polluters to create a justice fund that provides for transition of low-income and historically marginalized communities from fracked gas to electricity and to retrofit their homes for efficiency. Eugene has been a climate leader before, and we can and should be again. Now is the time for bold actions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Aaron, followed by Cascadia Wildlands.
Hi, I'm Aaron Lurch. I'm also with the Fossil Free Eugene Coalition. In addition to every other person's personal reasons for why we need to transition off of fossil fuels, I wanted to come on here and share my own. I grew up on a small organic blueberry farm just outside Eugene, just west of the urban growth boundary, the current urban growth boundary. And not only is climate change affecting everybody's lives in so many different ways, but the plants, like habitats, are moving north, and so that's also affecting farmers, and like we all know everything else, but so electrifying, like moving towards electrification, is gonna create jobs and also save jobs and livelihoods and also lives. That's what I wanted to add. And I also want to thank everyone who is testifying regularly. I know that these testifying for me personally is very stressful, and probably is for a lot of other people. And also thank you, City Council and Mayor and everyone else here.
Thank you. Next, we have Cascadia Wildlands, followed by Nancy A.
Hello, Mayor Vinnis, City Councilors, and City Manager Mederi. As you all know, my name is Dylan Plummer. I'm a resident of Ward 2, testifying today in my position as a grassroots organizer with Cascadia Wildlands, a 501c3 organization fighting for environmental protections and climate justice in the Pacific Northwest. Thank you for your decision to hold Northwest Natural accountable to the desires of your constituency in regards to greenhouse gas reductions by allowing the current agreement to lapse earlier this month. As you know, I'm testifying on behalf of the Fossil Free Eugene Coalition, and we are specifically focused on working towards electrification of buildings as they provide a clear mechanism for dramatically reducing greenhouse gas emissions in our city. As such, I'm concerned to hear that City Manager Mederi has re-entered conversation with the Fossil Fuel Corporation. Before renewing negotiations with Northwest Natural, it is imperative that the city signal its dedication to this effort by passing ordinances to ban the construction of new gas infrastructure in the city and to ban the use of cash incentives by the corporation to compel residents to install gas appliances, moving away from more renewable electric ones. The National Democratic Party under the Biden administration has begun prioritizing transitioning buildings from gas and other fossil fuel appliances as a major piece of its climate plan. Just last week, Biden's administration announced major plans for building electrification and are clearly prioritizing it as an integral piece of their national climate strategy. Even our own local Democratic Party of Lane County recently passed a resolution in support of building electrification and a Green New Deal for our community. Here are a few choice excerpts from the recently passed resolution. Whereas our adopted platform indicates that we are committed to advocating for aggressive actions to proactively address and expeditiously solve the climate crisis and protect our environment and our health. Whereas a Green New Deal calls for upgrading all existing buildings in the United States and building new buildings to achieve maximum energy efficiency, water efficiency, safety, affordability, comfort, durability, including through electrification. Whereas residential natural gas use has risen 22% in Eugene from 2010 to 2019 and is the fastest growing sector of Eugene's emissions. Whereas with a limited potential supply of renewable natural gas, it is better to reserve it for where it's most needed. Let it be resolved that the city of Eugene should continue to push for strong action on climate, including but not limited to mandating the transition of all utilities in the city to 100% renewable energy by 2030, enacting a moratorium on new fossil fuel infrastructure, and creating a climate fund as was recommended by the Eugene Sustainability Commission through a fee on Northwest Natural and other large climate polluters. There's much more, but I just want to highlight.
Thank you, Dylan. That concludes your time. Next, we have Nancy A., followed by 350 Eugene.
Hello, my name is Nancy Honor from Ward 2. An article in today's Register Guard stated that Eugene City officials are deciding on terms of a deal with the developers of the EWEB steam plant redevelopment project. One of the terms should be no natural gas in the project. I don't know what systems are in the developer's plans, but it would be most ironic if for EWEB's former steam plant to use a fossil fuel we need to eliminate from buildings well before the lifespan of the heating and other systems that will be installed in this building. Please make sure this doesn't happen. Please pass a moratorium on new natural gas infrastructure and keep natural gas out of the EWEB steam plant renovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Next up, we have 350 Eugene, followed by Danny Noonan.
Good evening, Mayor and councilors. My name is Deborah McGee. I've lived in Lane County for 40 years. I am a retired public school counselor and I organize with 350 Eugene. We are climate activists trying to save ourselves and at the same time everyone else from the looming climate crisis. I am the co-lead on 350 Eugene's fracked gas resistance campaign. And as you know, we organize with Fossil Free Eugene, a coalition. I'm excited to share that we are also now part of another coalition called Power Past Fracked Gas. This same coalition was instrumental in getting the Boardman coal plant closed as Power Past Coal, but now we are a coalition called Power Past Fracked Gas. This is a regional coalition that involves state, legal, climate organizations from K Falls up through Portland, spectacular leadership from conservation attorneys, the Columbia River Keepers, and the Oregon Physicians for Social Responsibility. To me, what's really exciting is that we are focused on helping our state reach the goals set by Governor Brown's climate executive order, which is to reduce Oregon's greenhouse gas emissions 80% by 2050. How can we possibly do that? Well, the low-hanging fruit is to stop the expansion of emissions from fracked gas. The Biden administration knows we have to stop. Governor Brown knows, and the citizenry is increasingly aware that we must respond boldly and aggressively if we are to confront the scale of the climate problem. Renewable wind and solar electricity with battery storage is the direction the nation's moving, and perhaps with the introduction of the all-electric Ford F-150, America's most popular truck, we will send the combustion engine packing. If Oregon is to meet Governor Brown's climate goals, Eugene must be an important leader in showing the way. Our local utilities can provide the home electrification we need, and many commercial industries will be moving to electrification soon. The Eugene City Council can call for a moratorium on allowing any more gas pipes or customers, and that will speed us toward the transition that we must make in order to prevent the point of no return for a stable climate. Do be bold, be moral, and do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. Next up, we have Danny Noonan, followed by Patty Hine.
Mayor Venice, City Councillors and City Manager Mederi, thank you for the opportunity to give testimony this evening. My name is Danny Noonan. I'm a climate and energy strategist with Breach Collective, a 501c3 organisation based in Eugene and Portland, and I'm also a resident of Ward 1. I'm testifying again in support of the Fossil Free Eugene campaign, and I want to focus this testimony on the International Energy Agency's report that was released last week. This report presents a pathway for achieving net zero emissions in the energy sector by 2050, which is in line with the Paris Agreement's goal of limiting global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Having read the report, I wanted to draw this council's attention to a few key points that support the core demands of the Fossil Free Eugene Coalition. I specifically want to focus on the section of the report that talks about the changes in buildings, which you can find begins at page 141 of that report. In brief, CO2 emissions in the building sector must decline by 95% from present levels by 2050 in order to achieve the net zero goal across the energy sector. This is achieved through energy efficiency and electrification as the two primary policy levers. The report also says that we need a 70% decrease in fossil fuel use in buildings by the year 2030 and a 98% decrease by 2050. Zero carbon ready building codes need to be mandatory for new buildings everywhere, that's everywhere on Earth, by the year 2030. In 2050, gas should heat less than 0.5% of homes globally. Gas boiler sales should decline by 60% from today's levels by 2030 and 90% by 2050. This section concludes by indicating that near-term government decisions are required for energy codes and standards for buildings, fossil fuel phase-out, use of low-carbon gases, acceleration of retrofits and financial incentives to encourage investments in building sector energy transitions, that these decisions will be most effective if they decarbonize the entire value chain and are likely to bring wider benefits, notably in reducing fuel poverty. You should take heed of these recommendations and you should walk away from any further franchise agreement negotiations. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Up next, we have Patty Hine, followed by Ethan Klein.
Good evening, Mayor and City Councilors. My name is Patty Hine, and I am here with 350 Eugene.
Hi, Patty. Patty, what? It sounds like there's an echo on your sound. A feedback. If you can try unmuting again.
How's that? I'm so sorry about that.
There, it is still got some feedback. We can. I'm going to move. Oh,
how's that? My apologies.
There we go. Much better. Okay, we can restart.
Apologies. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I just want to thank you so much for standing up to Northwest Natural Gas when they weren't willing to negotiate with you in good faith. You really stood up to them, and I really appreciate that. And I'm excited to hear what Sarah Mederi has to say in June when the work session takes us the next step. I hope that you stand firm. I wanted to share a little story tonight. Everybody knows the trouble with natural gas. We all know what a short time frame we have to work on. You've been working your heads off for years. We know what we're up against. You're hiring new people. We appreciate that. We're going to be working with you continuously from now until then. I just want to tell you what a good gas company looks like. In Australia, there is a gas company doing something that Northwest Natural could do. And if they were serious about being an energy company for the people and planet into the future, they would. Last month in Forbes magazine, an oil engineer and fracking expert said that Australian gas companies are investing in battery storage. Let me say that again. Gas companies are investing in battery storage. Tesla, who we know and love, is the biggest battery storage backup system in the world. They located it in South Australia, and dozens more are planned across their country, and it paid for itself in 3 years. They're locating them near gas-fired power plants since they're planning to decommission their gas-fired power plants within 5 to 10 years, which is what science tells us we must do to get ahead of the climate crisis. They also have 1 in 4 homes who have rooftop solar, and it's not because Australians love renewables. The government loves coal. It's the people who overwhelmingly support renewables, and the people of Eugene overwhelmingly support renewable energy. We just have to recognize that you have the authority to take the concrete actions to regulate the expansion of gas in our city. And we are giving you legal help to help you understand what that path forward looks like so that we can be with the other cities nationally and across the world who are taking the bold steps to get ourselves off of gas. And it's the quickest reduction distance that we can take in order to get our global emissions down. Thank you for your work. I look forward to a good June session.
Thank you, Patty. Our next speaker is Ethan Klein, followed by Jim New.
You all hear me all right?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, City Council and City leadership for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Ethan Klein, and I live in Ward 1, Councilor Emily Semple's ward. I'm going to try to do something a bit different today and just go over some notes and try to talk a little bit more off the cuff, but I do apologize if I'm just reading from my computer here. So a little over a week ago, I sent an email to the Budget Committee asking what it would take to reallocate funds away from the EPD and invest those funds somewhere else. Councilor Ye was happy to follow up with me, and we had some great back and forth. And she followed up with me with these details that since that the Budget Committee is looking through the report from the Ad Hoc Committee on Police Policy, it's unlikely that they will make any large changes before the budget has to be approved in June. Many of those recommendations would require funding changes, and those adjustments could be made at supplemental budget times or when needed by council, end quote. So, I mean, generally, it's my understanding that the CSI survey and subsequent review happened primarily because of public testimony since 2019 opposed to how CSI was allocated. Let alone that CSI's management and planning was fraught from its inception. And so would a survey and subsequent review have been implemented if not for the public testimony, or would CSI have just went ahead as per usual? I'm kind of, that's one of my first questions. Meanwhile, in Springfield, the Springfield Budget Committee meeting on May 17th, the member made a motion to move $250,000 away from SPD. SPD is currently under internal investigation. So I also kind of want to ask, would it take an internal investigation from EPD for city council member or somebody from the budget to just say, you know what, time for these funds to go. We don't need any, review process of, ad hoc committee or any of this. What is that, is that what it ultimately would take? I also want to remind folks that the approved 2021 budget had the same language concerning George Floyd and policing as the proposed FY 2022 budget. And I want to ask if anything's changed over the past year. As Councilor Evans put it, we'll see how long this can keep our attention. So again, I want to ask, has anything changed over the past year? Because that seems to suggest it hasn't.
Thank you, Ethan. Your time has concluded. Next up, we have Jim, followed by Lori Powell.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Jim New. I live in Ward 7. The May 11th date of the Northwest Franchise Agreement expiration is passed, as City Manager Maderi has said. Northwest Gas continues to work in the city right-of-way. Do councilors know if the utility is pulling new permits for all excavations that are going on currently since this expiration date? Unrelated to the franchise agreement, the public continues to file construction permits through Plan Check in the city building department. One of these applications recently submitted is for the new YMCA building at 24th and Hilliard. New fossil fuel sourced HVAC systems would be inappropriate for a sustainable future, would not align with the city's goals of reducing carbon emissions, and the system would be obsolete as electric heat pump systems are more energy efficient and less costly to operate. The YMCA permit submittal raises the question of whether the city building department, specifically Plan Check, is authorizing the use of gas energy systems for new construction within the building footprint. I sent a letter to Councilor Surratt last week regarding this and CC'd the mayor and council. I hope for a reply at some point in time. In order to meet the goals of the CRO to reduce the city's carbon emissions, a directive from council to the city manager should be directed to city staff to not authorize new gas HVAC systems in buildings. Electrifying buildings has a key role in achieving new zero carbon emissions, both by the governor of Oregon and the Biden administration. This council has the ability to start that process now. I thank you for that. Kudos to Nancy Anhert stating the obvious on the steam plant plans, no gas in the plan. That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Next up, we have Lori, followed by FUC.
Good evening, councilors, Mayor Venice. My name is Lori Powell, and I live in Ward 1. Northwest Natural's touting of natural gas as a clean fuel and that renewable natural gas is feasible and desirable aligns with some of the key plays out of the disinformation playbook put forth by the Union of Concerned Scientists. You've probably heard of this playbook before, not only in the context of climate disruption, but in other contexts as well, such as the tobacco industry's well-funded misinformation campaign around cigarette smoking. So think about that while we think about this with Northwest Natural. So there's 2 out of the 5 plays in the playbook that are particularly relevant here. The diversion, which is the manufacturing of uncertainty about scientists where little or none exists, and the fix, manipulating government officials or processes to inappropriately influence policy. So these 2 plays, I think, characterize Northwest Natural's attempt to influence the city of Eugene, but it's clear to me that the city of Eugene is not buying it and is getting close to winning this game with the franchise agreement now lapsed. So hopefully Manager Mederi's proposed strategies forthcoming in June are consistent with the following to help us cross this finish line. Number 1, pass a moratorium and ultimately ban the construction of all new fossil fuel infrastructure in Eugene. Number 2, levy a fee on Northwest Natural to create a fund to transition marginalized communities from fracked gas to electric appliances and to make their homes energy efficient. And 3, mandate the transition of all utilities in Eugene to 100% renewable by 2030. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lori. Next up, we have FUC, followed by Lynn Woodrich.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mayor Venice, City Councilors, and City Manager Mederi, thank you for providing this opportunity for public testimony. My name is Madeline Cowan, and I'm a member of Firefighters United for Safety, Ethics, and Ecology. Wanted to thank you for your decision to hold Northwest Natural accountable to the desires of your constituency, the people of Eugene, in regards to greenhouse gas emissions or greenhouse reductions by allowing the current agreement to lapse earlier this month. I'm testifying on behalf of the Fossil Free Eugene Coalition, a coalition that my organization, FUSI, is part of. FUSI members and supporters include current, former, and retired wildland firefighters, fire scientists and managers, educators and students, rural residents, forest conservationists, and other concerned citizens who support our vision and mission of building fire-resilient communities in the face of the climate crisis. Wildfire has become the dominant specter of climate change in the Western U.S. Last Labor Day, community members and neighbors just a few miles outside of Eugene were drastically affected by the Holiday Farm fire. Many are still recovering. In addition to timber extraction and fire exclusion, the continued use of fossil fuels and the subsequent continuation of building new fossil fuel infrastructure are false solutions to the changing climate and its effect on wildfire activity. Native forest protection and restoration of fire-resilient forests, in addition to halting and the use of fossil fuels, is the only way that we will be able to survive the climate crisis in the midst of more wildfire activity and unpredictable circumstances. In fact, just how working from the home outward to reduce fuels and vegetation around structures can dramatically reduce the likelihood of homes burning down, electrifying homes and buildings via a just transition can reduce the risk of climate change. Additionally, natural gas pipelines are known to be explosive and trigger wildfires that could further threaten the Eugene community and beyond. Repowering our buildings to run on clean, high-efficiency electric appliances instead is key to stemming the worst impacts of climate change. And doing this work can support jobs and communities everywhere. Thanks to Oregon's abundance of clean, low-cost energy, swapping out gas appliances for electric ones is a huge climate win, reducing the average household's climate footprint by 50%, the equivalent of completely giving up your car. Check how much time I have, and there's zero.
Thank you, Madeline. That concludes your time. Next up, we have Lynn Woodrich, followed by Eliza Garcia.
My name is Lynn Woodrich. I'm the Active Bethel Citizens co-chair, living in Ward 6 with my 92-year-old dad, and I'm a homeowner in the Bethel portion of Ward 8. I'm reminding you again of the importance of an area plan for Bethel. We've been neglected for almost 40 years, and the neighbors need to have a voice in the future of Bethel. As a recent example of the urgency of an area plan, the neighbors next to Justin Ponds never heard that the property was up for sale as surplus property. One neighbor suggested the neighborhood community might have wanted to buy it and turn it into a trust to protect the land. The developer doesn't know if the ponds will be fenced off from the surrounding neighbors due to liability issues. Many of them enjoy fishing in the large pond where there are bass, carp, crappie, and trout. The developer confessed during our Zoom meeting that if the current owner decided to sell the property, the next buyers could decide to fill in the ponds after the protections requested in the developer's application are removed. The Active Bethel citizens recently appealed the decision to remove the protections and lost the appeal. We hope the developer and the city council will work with us to find a way to protect the ponds. Please move up the Envision Eugene to help the Bethel area plan for a future where developers don't take away the green spaces they enjoy and Bethel residents' voices are heard. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Lynn. Up next, we have Eliza, followed by Matthew Uke. Eliza, can you unmute?
Hi, sorry. Hi, Mayor and City Councilors. My name is Eliza Garcia. I'm a second-year student at the University of Oregon, and I'm also a part of Osberg Students. The effects of climate change are increasing at a rate that requires immediate action on a state and national level. This summer, I lived very close to the horrible wildfires. I'm originally from Roseburg, Oregon, and though the wildfires in Glide never reached my house, the air quality and smoke were incredibly dangerous and alarming. I would go outside, and the sky looked so dark and red that it felt like the fires were right next door. I had many friends that had to evacuate their homes, and they did not know if they were going to be able to go back to their homes and still have anything there. Hiking trails and parks that I had grown up going are now burnt down, and it's awful to see your favorite places burned down, but I know that there are solutions. There's many groups, especially Fossil Free Eugene, as well as Osberg Students, which I'm in, that are raising awareness about the need for renewable energy. States like California and Hawaii have made the commitment to 100% clean energy because they see that we do not have the time to wait. Committing to clean and renewable energy and stopping the use and production of fossil fuels is a crucial step in saving our planet from climate change. If we can make this commitment on a city level, it will only help us in getting our state and potentially the whole country to start making similar commitments. Oregon and many West Coast states have historically been leaders in progressive change, so it makes sense that we would lead this movement to clean energy as well. I support a citywide commitment to renewable energy by 2030 because change needs to happen now, and we are in a position to lead this change. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Eliza. Up next, we have Matthew, followed by Rob.
Howdy, y'all. My name's Matthew Uke, a resident of Ward 4. I'm speaking tonight originally because through research of finding out how to make bias reporting better, as I've been speaking to for a little bit now, and in communications with Fabio Andrade, the human rights equity analyst for the city of Eugene and the staff liaison on the Human Rights Commission, about how we can make it more accessible so that way we can overcome the hurdle of underreporting that he himself identified in his own bias report that the city of Eugene produced. And so looking at some of the answers he's given to some of these easy reachable steps, like that there's a statute preventing the Human Rights Neighborhood Involvement Department from reporting as a victim services agency, which they are classified as, to the police on behalf of a victim with their consent. So that way we provide a layer of trauma-informed response between filing that report is something that is not prohibited by any statute in Oregon. And so please ensure that as we move forward with new material, new ideas, new accessibility, that we not only make sure it's more responsive and trauma-informed, includes language that could be possibly safe harbor threshold, make it accessible by consulting with Lila, and then speaking real quick to the Healthy Democracy panel, right? I was pretty upset at the description of it, saying that it had to be majority white because Eugene's majority white, y'all, and so healthy democracy. Does that imply that democracy right now in Eugene is not white? That governmental processes in Eugene are not white-dominated spaces? That white folk need more spaces to be present and represented? Did the equity panel have equal footing and equal influence from that same planning commission? Is some of the concerns I have to addressing the idea with the name, like geographically representative demographics, right? Not Healthy Democracy panel. Like, wow, y'all, that's really bad. And so this is just another thing, like, please do better. Instead of just saying the words, like, let us actually do better as Eugene. And I mean, like, thank y'all for the ad hoc committee. The fact that that Healthy Democracy panel also got paid to approach equity is like cool, but the fact that, again, it's called the Healthy Democracy panel.
Thank you, Matthew. That concludes your time. Our last speaker for tonight will be Rob, for those who signed up prior to the 7:35 deadline.
Hello, my name is Robert Fassett. I live in Ward 2. I just wanted to say I really love what Lori had to say a little earlier about identifying the tactics of Northwest Natural with the tactics of the tobacco industry. And I think we can all look at historical events that we clearly identify as destructive, like the tobacco industry's influence, that we now identify as like clearly morally wrong, and see how they align with events in the present that we accept as normal as they're happening. In other words, it's easy to look back and say that was wrong, but harder to look at what we're doing now, what we've been doing all along, and say it's a clear moral wrong. So I really thought the connection between the tobacco industry's tactics and any current hesitation to do whatever it takes to move away from fossil fuels in our city, regardless of creating corporate losses in the process, was really prescient. So I want to thank Lori for clarity. The main topic I want to discuss tonight is the CSI first, CAHOOTS. Community members have been yelling about increasing CAHOOTS funding through the CSI for a long time. At the last council meeting, at least one councilor didn't know whether CAHOOTS needed money or what they needed it for. CAHOOTS has recently put out a request for $1.8 million from the CSI to stabilize and grow their services in Eugene, so no more excuses. Second, a councilor attended the Southeast Neighbors meeting, member meeting on May 11th, the day after the CSI work session, and summarized the CSI work session as saying that there was, quote, broad support for community policing. This was not what I remembered from the session, so I went back and checked. One survey question asked respondents to indicate their top priorities for building community safety out of 8 multiple choice answers initially included in the CSI planning. The answer aligning with more community policing ranked 7th out of 8. Note that respondents could select 5 answers, so they had to try pretty hard not to select this one. Short, I hope you'll revisit the presentation and understand it a little better before actually making decisions on this issue. And finally, I appreciated the statement from Mayor Vennis on guns and gun violence. The mayor talks about ensuring that gun violence doesn't visit our community or that guns don't fall into, quote, the wrong hands. This is what comes up for me. 1 out of 3, 33% of human beings killed by strangers in the US are killed by police. I know that we're often resistant to thinking of our own local police department in this way. Things are somehow different here, but according to 2019 statistics, there were 2 recorded homicides in Eugene in 2019, which I assume doesn't include the 3 additional human beings, all people of color, that were murdered by the Eugene Police Department, 2 who were shot to death. So the logic that allows for this to happen while still insisting that the main problem with guns in our community is they're falling into the, quote, wrong hands. And then knowing that you look at this violence and can't name it as such, and then support a 25% increase in the EPD budget.
Thank you, Rob. That concludes your time. And thank you everyone for your testimony. That concludes the public forum for those who signed up prior to the 7:35 p.m. deadline.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Julie, for moderating that. And thank you to everyone who took the time to testify tonight. It was a good array of testimony. Appreciate all of the comments related to the challenge we have with climate change, reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, the upcoming conversation around Northwest Natural. There is more to learn and more to discuss there, and so we'll leave that for that moment. And actually was interested in Patty Hines' reference to the Forbes article about battery storage. So Patty, if you're still on and you want to send me a link to that, I'm curious about that article. So thank you for that. Are there counselors who wish to make any other comments about things they've heard? Okay, seeing none, I think we'll formally close the public forum and move on to our next item, which is an action item. I think, Council President, we can just put this motion on the table regarding the multiple unit property tax exemptions and amending section 2.946 of the Eugene Code.
Sure. I move to adopt an ordinance concerning multiple unit property tax exemptions and amending section 2.946 of the Eugene Code 1971.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? All in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you. That passes unanimously. Appreciate that. And the final item on the agenda, one more action related to section 6.200 of the Eugene Code. No. Councilor Ye?
Right. I am definitely paying attention. Okay, I move to adopt the proposed ordinance in attachment A, granting an exemption from the application of section 6.200 of the Eugene Code 1971 and providing for a sunset date.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Need for clarification on that? Councilor Keating.
Mayor, I'm looking at this and I don't see a sunset date. What am I missing?
Manager, do you
Paul,
want to?
do you want to? I believe it's a 5-year sunset, but Paul can answer.
That's correct. It sunsets at the end of the year, be 2026.
You still look puzzled, Councilor Keating.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where that language is. I just don't see it, Mayor.
Right. It's going to
It's
be
in section 5. It begins effective the date of this ordinance and ends on December 21, 2025.
2025. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
That you wrote it.
Okay, is that any other questions or need for clarification on this one? All right, all in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that passes. Thank you all very much. And thank you. Short meeting tonight, and everybody have a good night. We are adjourned.